A very good evening, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, esteemed colleagues, friends and family. I welcome you to what I truly believe is going to be one of the most thoughtful and memorable evenings in our professional and personal lives, one that may stay with you long after the ceremony ends. Before I begin formally introducing the towering personality we are here to celebrate tonight, I would like to request your patience and attention as I share a deeply personal story, a story that speaks not just of greatness, but of humility, wisdom, and mentorship. The year was 2013. It was the inaugural edition of the National Awards for Manufacturing Competitiveness, instituted by IRM. We were a small, passionate team of people with big ideas. The first ever award ceremony was scheduled in Chennai on June 6th. We had 14 participants, not a large number by any means. As we began planning the event, we wished to invite someone who would give the ceremony not just gravitas, but inspiration. We thought Dr. A. Shivadanu Pillai, the very embodiment of technological excellence and nation building. We knew it was a long shot. He was already a national icon, the architect of some of India's most critical defense capabilities, and the founding CEO of BrahMos Aerospace. Still, we reached out through common friends and references, hoping for a miracle. And that miracle came, but not in the way you might expect. When we approached him, he didn't ask us about how big the organization was, because when you start a new initiative, that is the biggest fear. How do you prove your credentials? He did not ask us where the event was happening. He did not ask us how big the gathering is going to be. His first question was, what is the scientific validity of that process? That question stunned me and later inspired us, because it wasn't the brand of our event he cared about, it was the integrity of our process. It wasn't how many, but how meaningful. Once convinced that we had built a sound, rigorous and relevant evaluation model, he graciously agreed to come, not just to attend, but to encourage and inspire. But before ending the conversation, he offered a powerful challenge, one that echoes with everybody in IRIM. Why only 14 companies? You should have 100. Every factory in India should be competing to prove why they are globally competitive in manufacturing. These words lit a fire in us. Sir, over the last 11 years, we have assessed more than 600 factories. In the last 4 years, as you wished, we have been assessing more than 100 factories a year. And this effectively has become the largest industry program in India, which is purely meritocratic and run by on-site evaluations. Today, we have a nation builder amongst us. Let's take a moment to know Dr. Pillai and his remarkable work. Though many of you would know his work, especially the BrahMos missile, one of the fastest and the most powerful supersonic cruise missile on Earth. Allow me a few minutes to introduce the extraordinary life and legacy of this visionary technologist and nation builder. Dr. Pillai's journey is just not about achievements. It's about shaping India's destiny. It is about proving to the world that a self-reliant India is not a dream. It's a reality in motion. Born on 15 July 1947, in the same year as independent India, his career has mirrored the rise of our young republic. A graduate in electrical engineering from the University of Madras, he further honed his leadership acumen to the prestigious Harvard Business School and earned his PhD and DSc from Pune and Tumkur universities respectively. His professional career spans over 5 decades with deep contributions to ISRO, DRDO, and later the creation of BrahMos Aerospace. He worked under the greats of Dr. Vikram Sarabhai, Professor Satish Dhawan, and shared a 40-year collaboration with Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Together, they formed the nucleus of India's space and missile programs. At ISRO, he contributed to the development of SLV-3 and the evolution of PSLV. At DRDO, he led the development of Agni, Prithvi, Nag and Akash missiles under the ambitious Integrated Guided Missile Development Program. But it is BrahMos that remains his crowning glory. As a founder, CEO and MD of BrahMos Aerospace, he created a model joint venture between India and Russia, one that not only developed the world's fastest supersonic cruise missile, but also inspired future collaborations and defense diplomacy. He is widely known as the father of BrahMos, and rightly so. Now let me talk about the humble mentor and the tireless visionary he is. But there's something proud, something more profound than the technologies he built. It is the humility and the generosity of mentorship and the unrelenting pursuit of national service that truly defines him. Even after retiring from official roles, he continues to contribute through institutions like IITs, NITs, and research centers. He has served as chairman of BOGs, honorary professor, and distinguished visiting faculty across top Indian institutions. He is deeply involved in emerging domains like hypersonics, green hydrogen, and renewable energy, reminding us that the pursuit of knowledge never ends. He has authored 11 books, including 40 Years with Abdul Kalam, The Path Explored, and co-authored with Dr. Kalam the seminal books Envisioning an Empowered Nation and Thoughts for Change. He has been recognized with 16 honorary doctorates and some of the nation's highest civilian awards, Padma Shri in 2002 and the Padma Bhushan in 2013. The government of Russia conferred him the prestigious Order of Friendship and the Order of Peter the Great, and testaments to his nature is understood at the global stage. This is a salute to a life well lived. Today, as we present the Lifetime Achievement Award, we are extending our collective gratitude. We are saluting a man who never compromised on integrity, always placed nation above self, believed in science not for prestige but for progress, believed in youth and in people and in the power of possibilities. He once said, and I quote, "The real power of technology lies not just in invention, but in its transformation of society." That, ladies and gentlemen, is the measure of a man we honor tonight. If I may ask you all to rise, please. Not just in honor of a legendary career, but to celebrate a life lived with purpose. To a visionary who dared, a mentor who shaped generations, and a true patriot whose work will outlive all of us. Dr. A. Shivadanu Pillai, may your journey continue to inspire the scientists of tomorrow. May your humility remind us what greatness looks like. And may your legacy be a guiding light for India's future. A great round of applause. Thank you, gentlemen. It is an absolute honor and privilege to have with us two wonderful other gentlemen who have also spent more than 4 decades of their life in nation building and have contributed to society in several forms and continue to inspire all of us to think beyond our goals, everyday goals and challenges, to think for a nation, to think for society. So, gentlemen, may I take the privilege to present Padma Bhushan Dr. A. Shivadanu Pillai, a Lifetime Achievement Award. We may sit down now. And I think it is a golden opportunity, a memory that will last, and learnings that will inspire to hear these gentlemen speak. Over to you, Neelakandan.
Thank you, Anand. With such distinguished individuals gathered on stage, we would like to take this opportunity to delve deeper, to hear firsthand the valuable life lessons, their personal stories and thought processes that guided them through moments of critical challenge. Dr. Pillai, I'm going to pose the first question to you. Can we begin by talking about your childhood, your beginnings, where you came from, where you started? I'm sure we all want to know, because this is not a discussion where we are going to be talking about everything that everybody knows. We want to know other things about you and our other legends.
Good evening to all of you. Thank you so much for the honor given to me by Mr. Anand and all of you. Thank you so much. See, I was a student in the engineering college in Madurai. Madurai, there's a Tyagarajar College of Engineering where I studied. That time the engineering was 5 years. So during the 4th year, students were asked to exhibit some good product to the Madurai exhibition, which is going to be, inaugurated by Sir C.V. Raman. So myself and my friend Manisanga, we thought what should be the hit point. So finally we made a processor. That time processor was not known to operate multiple gadgets like that. So we showed that in the exhibition, because we were very small boys at that time. So big people used to come, so we were very, nervous. Sir C. Raman came. He looked at it and he said, it's a very good work you have done. So he patted. Then next Sarabhai came, Vikram Sarabhai. That was the time, I am talking about 1968, when he just formed the space program and he was in the limelight. So such a big man came and he wanted to know the details of that. So I started explaining the circuit, all those things. 15 minutes he spent with me and with my friend. And then he put his hand on my shoulders and said, you have got a great future, he said. So that was an electric shock for me. I was studying electrical engineering. So I thought I should work for ISRO. So I made only one application to join ISRO. And 69, when I passed out, I joined ISRO. And that was the starting point. And the day I went, Sarabhai was there in Trivandrum. So I reported to him. He was the director of the Space Science and Technology Center there. And I am reporting to Space Science and Technology Center. So it was a great occasion for me to meet a big man. You know, he's a visionary, great visionary of our country. Because of him today we have got top space program in the country. Only because of him. He thought that the country should get the benefit of space applications. That's what his aim. So today we are realizing that. And we are all very proud. We are one of the 4 countries, lead countries in the world in space. First country to go around Mars in the first attempt at less cost. First country to go to the southern part of the moon and land there. The Japanese tried, they were not able to do it. Only we have succeeded. First country to take 104 satellites in one PSLV. You know, so like that, many first country we are able to hear today for the space program because of that one man. No, visionary. So such a visionary brought me up. So that was my inspiration. That's the answer to your question. How I got that inspiration. The inspiration came from Dr. Sarabhai. Then stability of thinking came from Professor Satish Dhawan. And hard work and do a mission, that came from Abdul Kalam. Abdul Kalam. So I worked with Dr. Abdul Kalam for 40 years, starting from the SLV-3, 1970 onwards, and we didn't separate till his death. So when he was president, I used to go with him to all the countries. He used to take me as the official, for all the discussions I was there. So SLV-3 we did, all the missiles we did. During the missile program, there was an MTCR, with the American lead. 9 countries joined together and formed missile technology control regime so that India is not able to develop the missiles. That was the thing they imposed. And even there are Indians in America, they were not able to talk to us. That was the condition they have put. No material, no technology, nothing was available to us from all the developed countries. Today, you see where we have grown, we are equal to them, and we are 4th nation to have the GDP growth. And we are having the highest GDP growth today in the world, 6.34 we are having. So if you look at the trend, what is happening, in another 2 years we will become the 3rd nation after USA, China, and ourselves. And in another 10 years, we will be equal to the American economy, because the American economy is crashing. They are struggling with 2%. We are 6+%. So that is the way we are growing. So, and you see the type of youngsters, startups, how many startups have come? More than 147,000 startups are there in India. And space startups alone, if you see, more than 210 startups are there. People are bubbling now with ideas to push then the skill development. Is another big program, Skill India. So we are growing to the level that no other country is growing. That is the situation today we have come. And teaching a lesson to all the developed countries. That is why today you see that what has happened in Operation Sindoor, you have seen. Today we are able to demonstrate to the world we have the best system to defeat anybody.
I would now like to pose the same question, Mr. Pillai, to Mr. Ravikant. You're a stalwart of your own industry, but again, nobody really knows that much about where you came from, what your beginnings were, what your childhood was like. If you could open that out for us, we would really appreciate it.
Thank you. Well, mine is not as distinguished as Dr. Pillay's is. I've been in, I studied in a school in Rajasthan called Mayo College. then did IIT Kharagpur, and I've been in 7 companies. I think what is somewhat different or unique is that each of these new companies were in a different industry of which I had no knowledge of. And somehow I went into these companies where people in the company were far more knowledgeable than me, far more technically competent than me, but maybe by stroke of good luck, I got placed there. And therefore, when I look back and try to see what did I do, what did I contribute, and only one thing came to my mind is that if you are able to build powerful teams, that powerful team can do anything in the world. And that is a lesson which I have learned. So it's not about you, it's not about you're trying to glorify yourself or over glorify yourself. And therefore it is about creating a team. And the fundamental thing of creating a team is trust. If you are able to build trust in the organization, where people trust each other, give them freedom, give them psychological safety, then you can do almost anything. And that is one thing, in a way, came to a extreme, I would say, maturity, was Tata Motors. Although I have also been conscious and professed myself to think big and to go for things which are probably have not been attempted. But the scale of which, when I joined Tata Motors and with Mr. Ratan Tata, it is of different order. And Mr. Ratan Tata, therefore, taught me not by telling me, but by demonstrating, is how to think big and bold. And if Tata Group is today of this size, is because of his thinking of thinking big and bold, where people will be hesitant to go, but he always wanted to think big and bold. And because of that reason, some of the things you mentioned about ACE or Nano are because of that, or Jaguar Land Rover is because of that thinking big and bold. So that is one big thing which I would like to share with this audience. Don't be satisfied with what you have. Don't be satisfied with 1%, 2% fees. Think of big and bold. In fact, almost like what Dr. Pillai has mentioned. It was not done earlier, but India could do it and we did it. Second point in that is that you give the freedom to people to achieve that big and bold. And that is very important. You give them the psychological safety of doing it. And the third most important thing is that in case things don't work out as they were planned, be there to support them. So if any organization, if there is a culture, an environment of thinking big and bold, and if the senior leadership is giving the freedom to other people to do their best, and third is, in case it does not work that way, to support them, then what is true in his case, what is true maybe my case, it can be true in millions of cases in the country. And therefore, my recommendation would be that go and create powerful teams. And as I said, teams are based on trust. And I'm sure we can do really big wonders in this country. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Khandelwal, it is your turn to tell us about. I'm right in front of you at the back, sir.
Okay.
Right here.
Okay, you are there. So I thought, where from this voice is coming? Okay. Well, I'm aware that I'm sitting between two very, very inspiring individuals, and especially Dr. Pillai, who has almost an intimidating presence from a leadership point of view. I often think that we in corporate sector have got little more attention than the scientists. Every day you see on CNBC people, you see here, you see in Economic Times, you see here. Nobody knows what have we really achieved. So in that spirit, my salam to you, sir. And I think I have really no words. I feel overwhelmed by his presence, and also Ravi Kanji, who is such a wonderful person that I have known in short time. So now coming back to my childhood. My childhood, I'm very proud that I was born in middle of middle class, not even middle class. I was a mediocre student, high school 56%, 53%, intermediate 48%. And I was given a dream by my elder brother that if you somehow get first class in BSc, and I worked very hard for that and got 60.03%. And that was the turning point of my life. And after that, I didn't look back. Those days, we got admission in engineering on 60%. So I ended up doing chemical engineering from HBTI Kanpur, at that time very famous on chemical engineering, but I didn't like engineering. Somehow my mind was of that of a social science person. And I was a perennially dissatisfied man. Why people are poor, why people live the way they live, why people behave they behave. So I ended up joining a bank, which was a disaster of my life, I tell you. I joined a bank and I found that people are coming at 12. Customers, what I call customers, were treated as someone जो कष्ट से मर रहे हैं, customer. And that revolted something in me. As a junior officer, I wrote to corporate office, got their attention. The rest is a history that I was shifted to human resource. And that was another turning point of my life. So you see, there have been lot of twists and turns in my life, and I always remained a tempered radical within the organization. That you are there, yet you don't belong to that culture. There was always some fire in me to change. See, public sector is highly hierarchy-driven culture. Highly hierarchy-driven culture. And that's what I resented, and I found lot of talent down below. Anyway, twists and turns and everything else, finally, my opportunity in different jobs came and tried to change things, and you know, creating discomfort in a comforting situation is full of challenge. That's how my life moved, and eventually someone who wanted to resign in 1972, and actually I had prepared to, ended up as chairman and managing director of the same bank. The history of that is given in my book, Dare to Lead. So you never know why you are born, what you are up to, who will put that magical hand on your shoulder, and you will be born to do something. Three things I learned. One, recognize talent below you. Like you go deeper into the sea, you will find sometimes talent is just on the shop floor. Dig deeper and find talent and become a cause for moving that talent. As in your case, sir, it happened, as you said. I found that is the key thing, that did I really put hand on the shoulder of 5 people? That is one thing. My second learning is remove internal hassles and create a facilitative climate for people to blossom, to create conditions and culture that people can articulate, to give them voice. I found in hierarchical institution, giving voice is very difficult When a top man is coming, people are said, you will not speak, you will keep quiet. You know, I think giving voice to people is the most important lesson I learned. And the third lesson I learned was create purpose. Why are we here? Like, sir, this purpose in scientific community, in the government system with very poor compensation, the purpose is building nation. In every job, a purpose can be created, provided you are living a purposeful life. So I think this is not a magical thing. This is very simple thing. Identifying talent, grow them up, become mentor to 4, 5, those people become mentor to another 4, 5. It's like a nuclear fission in the organization. That's what I would like to share about my journey. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Khandelwal. Dr. Pillai, Dr. Khandelwal just spoke about purpose, right? So I'm going to ask you, while achieving all these landmarks, successes that you have, was there any higher purpose that drove and propelled you to achieve all this? Any higher purpose in your mind to go out and do all these things that you did?
You're asking me? Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I'm asking Dr. Pillai.
Dr. Pillai.
Yes.
See, when we did the launch of Agni in '89, Dr. Kalam asked one question. We have become 6th country in the world to have IRBM. SLV3, when we launched it, it was 7th nation. When we did the Pokhran test in 1998, we are again 6th country in the world. What is the 6th country? When will you become the 1st country in the world? The purpose he injected to me is find the way India can become the 1st country. So then he said that you need to have a break. So he sent me to Harvard Business School. So you go through that break from all things, but with a solution to give me how India will become the 1st country. Fortunately for me, that was the time when the Gulf War was taking place. So my attention instead of management studies turned towards the Gulf War. So I looked at what they are doing. Finally I found out Saddam Hussein was very strong in opposing the Americans because he had a very good air defense system. All radars and anti-missiles. Any aircraft comes, he can destroy. That was his power. The whole of Iraq, he implanted that. Mostly Soviet Union system. But what the Americans did, they launched from Persian Gulf cruise missile. It's called Tomahawk cruise missiles, 500 of them, and finished up all the air defense system what Saddam Hussein had, and then bombarded the whole country. So what I learned is, in IGMDP, when we had the missile program, our aim was to make a long-range missile. Because we know the 5 countries which are ruling the world, the Security Council members with veto power, they all have got long-range missiles and nuclear power, weapon. So unless we have that, we will not be recognized as a strong country. So strength respects strength. So purpose is to make our country strong. That was the major aim for the Agni program. So today we have 5,000 kilometer plus Agni with the MIRV, multiple injection warheads. So it's a very powerful system we have today. Now, even then we are not becoming number 1 country. So to become number 1, the idea came we should enter into cruise missile. Not the speed what the Americans have got, the subsonic, we should become supersonic. So that is why we had to find out who can help us in the supersonic technology. So we located the Russians, the only country to have a supersonic engine, cruise missile engine. No other country had. So we joined with them as a joint venture, That was Brahmaputra and Moskva, the name of two rivers. We made the company called BrahMos, and they gave the propulsion technology. We made the guidance technology to have. So one is speed, other one is precision. So speed is Russian responsibility, precision is our responsibility. Today we have a missile called BrahMos, supersonic cruise missile. No other country had. The Russians who helped us also not having the same system. We have the land to land, we have got the air to ground, that they don't have. They have only the anti-ship version they have. So the way we have made it today, we have become number one. So that's the purpose, what defined by Dr. Abdul Kalam, that we have achieved that. So I want to tell you two incidents. One is about the nobility. We are talking about both leaders talked about the leadership and how we should, groom our young people. Nobility in leadership is a very, very important thing. We were working for SLV-3, satellite launch vehicle, and 72, Dr. Abdul Kalam was made as the project leader. So he formed the team. I was also with him as a core team member. So we defined a 7-year program to make the SLV-3 to put satellite in the orbit. We want India to have its own launch vehicle to put Indian satellite into the orbit. We worked, and 7 years we achieved that. So in 79, August 10th, we did the launch. We worked very hard for that. 3 months without sleep, we were working in the Sriharikota, a launch base, assembling, testing, all those things. We were very sure it will go. So but when we launched, about to launch, there is a countdown. During countdown, we check all the parameters. Today Shukla astronaut is in USA, The whole flight got delayed because of during countdown there was a leakage. So we also had a problem like that. So the red fumic nitric acid which was there in the second stage control system, that started leaking. There was no color TV at that time in 79. So we were looking at the bottom because it should take off. We were not worried about the second stage. But the second stage, red fumic nitric acid got depleted. And when the SLV-3 took off, rocket took off, it was majestic, it was very good. Everything, we were all clapping, we were very happy, jubilant. But the second stage did not work. Control was not there. So finally it plunged into the sea. It was a failure. It was a shock. That time, the chairman, Satish Dhawan, was the chairman. He has no role except that he is the chairman. So he was sitting in the back, not in the operation, back. He took the scene. Press people are waiting. What happened? A big commotion. He addressed the press. He went to the press and he addressed the press and he did not expose Abdul Kalam. He told Abdul Kalam and ourselves to review what has happened, to analyze. But he addressed the press. We have not fallen flat. Next year we will make it success. Like that he managed. Next year, 18th July 1980, when we launched SLV-3, as a second experimental flight. I'm having problem. So the launch took place very nicely. Okay. So launch took place very nicely and it went, injected the satellite, Rohini satellite in the orbit, jubilation again. That time, the one, he was telling, Kalam, press is waiting for you, you go. So when problem came, he said, as the chairman, I am responsible for the failure, he said. When success came, he gave credit to this one. This is called nobility. Why ISRO is a successful organization today is this basis. They always protect the people, protect the scientists, protect the people who are working very hard. Failure is immaterial. Failure is part of life. But it has, you have to learn from failure and make it a success. This is what the lesson the great leader Satish Dhawan gave to ISRO. And whatever he defined, review system, everything is as it is being followed even today. That's the great success of ISRO. Sarabhai's vision and the whole streamlining the whole procedure, bringing a culture, that was the responsibility of Satish Dhawan. Third person who has made our country is Abdul Kalam. He is a different type of person. He is a doer, mission man. They were visionary, then different things, but Abdul Kalam had a mission. We have to achieve. Achiever. During achieving, one lesson he has given to us as a manager, nobody should be ignored. In a group of people, we say this man is very weak, so he will not be useful to us. He has no knowledge in doing that. Like that we say, but he never said that. Such people he identified, find out his strength and develop the strength and make him great person. That is empowering individuals is the one lesson he has given, and everybody worked with him, all became great people. This is the lesson we have to learn in human relations. We talk about our HR. This is HR. He is very good in man management. He is very good in anybody. When he was president, he opened Rashtrapati Bhavan. When he meets a child, he becomes a child. When he meets a Bill Gates, he becomes equivalent to Bill Gates. No? That type of relationship he could keep the people. That's how he was adaptable, and everybody liked him. That's a type of, that's a lesson we are learning from him. These are all great leaders whom I worked. They are my teachers.
Thank you, Mr. Pillai. Mr. Ravikant, I'm going to pose the same question to you. The achievements you had while you were at Tata Motors, did you, in your mind, have a higher purpose for yourself too? Did you think of a much higher purpose while striking these deals, initiating these projects? Could you elaborate, please?
In life, you can't achieve bigness or greatness for your organization unless you have higher purpose. There is some kind of spirituality which is contained in this higher purpose. And as he's rightly put, Dr. Pillai, then it becomes the mission for everybody. Once it becomes the mission, then things begin to happen. And you can't achieve breakthroughs, you can't do big things unless there is a higher purpose. So, let's take example of ACE we talked about. So, one can say it was a product, it was a successful product. In fact, it doubled the size of the commercial vehicle market, it was a remarkable success. I don't think any other vehicle in India has done this, which, as you also said, is created a new segment. It's not expanded, it's created a new segment. So how did it come about? So if we go back into this, then we'll try to understand that was the point in time when Mr. Bajpayee's government was there, and they were doing very well in road construction. And there was a Pradhan Mantri Gramin Sadak Yojana, which was initiated under his leadership, which meant that we needed to have a last mile vehicle because the roads are going there, and therefore farmers are going to be able to produce things. Who's going to transport? And therefore the higher purpose there was to ensure that farmers are able to get better realization for their produce. And therefore, if we have something which is economical, which is comfortable, then people will take this. And in addition to that, when we created the four-wheeler, earlier there were tractors and trailers and something like these things were happening. It gave a very kind of prestige and status to the person who was driving it. Now you understand this. We are talking about several 25 years ago. The person in the village, his position gets elevated. That is driving a four-wheeler, which is very, very big, and that's what our research showed. And because then they said, okay, if my position goes higher up, then I can marry better. I can do this thing. I can do this thing. It's a human psychology. He's satisfying certain needs. And therefore, we said, this is the purpose that actually we are doing. Product can be mechanical product, that's different. But unless you imbue that product with higher purpose, the product will not sell very well. So my thing is, whether I've given a small example of ACE, but it is true for anything. Unless you have a higher purpose, you cannot go very far. Otherwise, you remain an incrementalist and you can continue to do 0.5% growth or 2% growth or 3%. You can't do big breakthroughs.
Dr. Khandelwal, you started this discussion on purpose. Let me bring it back to you and hear from you what your life had to do with this in terms of purpose.
My own idea about purpose is that in the organizational context, it changes with your hierarchical position. If you are at junior level, I don't think at that time you say, I want to build the nation. As you rise, as you rise, as you rise, as you rise, the context changes. If you get into the very superordinate goal right in the beginning, that has to be there. That has to be a cover. But I think purpose every time changes. For example, I come from customer service industry. Our immediate purpose at junior and middle level was to see that we are here for the growth of industry, for the growth of SMEs, for the growth of rural development. That is the purpose. And through customers, if you do not give them service, if you are not innovative in your delivery process, if you are not empathetic to their problems, ultimately the national purpose will be defeated. So I think that purpose has got to be there at all levels. Up to a level 15, 20 years, as far as I'm concerned, the purpose was the customer. And there are, so that they multiply the wealth of nation through small scale industries, through other sectors. So that is one. When you become somebody, when you become CEO or when you become a top management, your purpose is that, two purposes that I work for was that my purpose is not only to create profits, that will happen, and if they don't happen during my tenure, someone will create profit. Because we are in a commercial organization, that is not the purpose. At that time, the purpose is, are you creating an organization which will outlive you? Which you are creating an organization which can meet tsunami of changes that are coming, disruption, discomfort. And I think at that time purpose is to really seed that process. And that seeding is required in terms of taking those long-term steps or readying your organization through technology, through human capital, building an internal culture, busting your internal bureaucracy, and creating a healthy organization that can serve larger communities, that can serve rural people, that can serve small-scale industries. So purpose in my life have changed with my junior position, middle-level position, and when you become somebody, you're creating an organization that will outlive you and continue to serve the country. So I look at purpose at contextual and at different levels of organization. People have different purpose. Now, only a line I would like to add it. That why purpose becomes important. Because many of us who are in the trajectory of leadership, we start treating our personal purpose bigger than organizational purpose. My career, my promotion, at any cost, shortcuts, or whatever. I think this is extremely important for leaders to put their self-interest or the national interest ahead of corporate purpose, ahead of their personal purpose. Now, this is a very, very important thing for individuals to be aware and to be sensitive while they are working. That I would like, that's what I would like to share on purpose. Thank you.
Gentlemen, with this kind of purpose that you all work with, hard hours have to be put into this. Hard hours have to be put into this. There's been long hours, very difficult hours, which you have all had to endure to achieve whatever you all have achieved. Dr. Pillai, I'll put the question to you again. How much did your family's support mean to you through all these endeavors? I know your dear wife is here with you, and I'm sure she'd love to listen to what you have to say in terms of how much your family's support meant
See,
through
working
all
with
this.
Dr. Kalam, who is a bachelor, you know, he used to work up to 2 a.m. when we were doing the SLV3. So I had to work with him. Okay. So family has become secondary for us. And that continued all along. So the family also understood it is for the nations these people are working. So they did not disturb us. So we continued like that. That is the family. She is there. So she knows. So I don't take anywhere her, but this function I brought her.
Thank you. Mr. Ravikant, you too. How much has family support meant to you through all this?
See, I'll echo what Dr. Pillai has said. See, when you are on a mission mode, then you don't think about hours, you don't think about holidays, you don't think about that. Then you are doing that. 24/7, you are looking at this as to how can this particular thing benefit, how can this benefit, how can that benefit. And therefore, I would say, to be honest, you do compromise on the family this thing, because you are giving precedence to the work, whether you are working till 2 o'clock in the morning or you are working 7 days a week, and all those things don't matter. When you are trying to fulfill a mission or fulfill a purpose, I think that is very important. And that's what I've done in my life, and I continue to do so. But it does not mean that you ignore the family. I mean, you have to take care of them, you have to be with them. And unless you have family support, you can't do it. We must all be very careful on this. Unless the family supports, unless your wife appreciates and understands what you are doing and therefore allow you to do it, that is very important. Otherwise, you will have tremendous stress, tremendous tension. You are doing this or you are holding to something else. So that is very, very important for you to be able to do whatever you have set out to do. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Khandelwal, I can see you smiling from there, wondering what I'm going to ask you. I just want to go one step further with that question and say,
I'll tell you.
but do you think it was difficult for them at home, considering you're
I don't
single-minded?
think they also need relief from you, you know. Let us be, because throughout the life, you know, and they get used to it, that, and they are very proud of it. Not everyone reaches the position of a chief executive or nation building. So one is that they're more than happy that you are doing, and I think in our culture, the support comes very voluntarily. Now these are the problems of young people now, who talk of balance and who talk of as if they are here and they are there, and you have to maintain. Balance means manipulation, basically. In our cases, support has been voluntary support, voluntary. That you enter, you feel guilty, oh. And when you feel guilty, you try to compensate. So the equation is reversed now, I tell you. Because you are only you feel, I've felt, for example, as a CEO, I've often felt, and we have limited tenure. So a little like in private sector, you retire at 70, we know you are there for 3 years. Often I felt I am on a jet whose fuel is running out and the destination is far. And therefore, in that mental state, you want to give your 100%, hours don't matter. You have to create magical 25th hour for your learning. Thank you.
I'm going to pose one last question to Dr. Pillai. Sir, you, in your tenure as a scientist working with ISRO and creating BrahMos, you had to deal with a lot of different politicians, prime ministers, bureaucrats, all kinds of people. How difficult or easy was it to get what you actually wanted?
We look bureaucracy as a, stumble block, not to allow things to progress the way you want. So what we have done in the BrahMos, we got government funding from India and Russia, but we made a private company. We made that 50.5% for India and 49.5% for Russia. Because of it is 50.5, we are not government. We have been made private. This formula, when we talked to Mr. Narasimha Rao, he was the defense minister and prime minister at the time. Dr. Kalam and myself went and met him. So I told him, this is a very important project and it is a top secret project now. But people will come to know about this and we will become number one in the world. Now, if you have to do that, please allow me to do as a private company. He immediately approved. He's a visionary, Chanakya, he could understand what we are talking. Then he approved and appointed me as the CEO. Then we had a board. Board was to have the power of everything, not the bureaucracy. It is transferred to the board. 3 people from Russia, 3 people from India. So the board also said CEO is in charge. Full powers given to the CEO. So when you have got the full power and when you want to do something, it is from the scratch you have to do. Nothing known about this cruise missile. Everything is new to us, and everything has to be done as a top secret program. So we hired some building in Delhi, some corner, and put 3-4 people, started working like that. And it has grown, and then we thought that we should have a proper place. Then I got a land from army. I didn't pay for that. They gave 4 acres of land we built there. Everything came free. I got one land, 230 acres from Pilani for 1 rupee. Then Kerala, I got the Kerala high-tech industry transferred to the BrahMos. It is called BrahMos Trivandrum Limited for 1 rupee. Everywhere I got everything 1 rupee. Nagpur, everywhere we have got facilities today. In the whole of India, we are now operating. More than 20,000 people are full-time for BrahMos production. So all happened. This all happened when the bureaucracy is watching, because they have no power. you know, when you make a program, you go to them, they will, everything should go in file. They will ask 1,000 questions to you. Your life will be wasted in answering to them. Finally, they will approve. But there's a delay. And they are not responsible for the delay. Only the man who is doing the project is responsible. So this is our bureaucracy. And we inherited that system and we are continuing. That is why most of our projects, government projects, are getting into problem because of this. That we wanted to eliminate by doing this arrangement. We were very successful. There was no question asked to me. And Mr. Anthony is a clean person, you know. He's a very Mr. Clean. So he thought that this man is using government money, but there's a CAG is not there. So he wrote a letter to CAG, take over. CAG should review. CAG came, Vinod Rai came. He spent one day, he saw all the files, he discussed everything. He gave a report back to him, letter. Sir, the program is run much better than any organization. We don't want to interfere. CAG said, we will not interfere. So, this is a model. I am telling you, if India has to succeed, overtaking all other things, all hurdles they have to do, we have to adopt Brahmo's model, which is a very new one. We have thought about it and we have succeeded in doing that. That's why today we have a system. Otherwise, this system, Brahmos, would not have been there with the government system. It would have taken much more time because developing a cruise missile is not easier for us. So, and we met prime ministers, all prime ministers I have met, except the present prime minister. They have all given full support every time. All defense ministers supported. So I had no problem because they know there's a purpose. No, there is going to be a breakthrough, is going to happen. They understood. Mr. Monte Singh Alwalia, finance secretary, supported us very well. RBI governor, everywhere I have gone, no problem. All people supported. So even the bureaucracy, even though I eliminated, they supported me.
Thank you, sir. You know, that will bring us to the end of this conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, I must tell you that today we have been privileged to witness a rare confluence of stories that span boardrooms and battlefields, laboratories and launch pads. This has been more than just an event. It is a living archive of life lessons, of challenges, met with courage, and of decisions that shaped destinies, and indeed, this country. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you'll agree.
Can I stop you at this point?
Yes, sir.
I want to tell one incident to all my friends here. I was shared with the two of our, famous people sitting here. See, any product of high nature, if we have to implement in India, first you tell foreigners that this product is good. Then only Indians will accept. So we when we did the launch, first launch, it was everybody came to know there's a supersonic missile has been launched by India. Then what we did, we exhibited immediately in Malaysia. A picture we put, and then Mahathir came and he spent a lot of time and he gave a lunch. He gave exclusively for the Indian ambassador and Indian vice chief of Navy and myself, saying that Malaysia wants BrahMos. He declared there. Then we went to Abu Dhabi to tell the Middle East that we have got a supersonic missile. So UAE president came and he spent a lot of time and he said, we want this missile. Then came one delegation from Pakistan with a major general leading and with the other service people, Navy, Air Force and all. So 4 of them came. They wanted to know what is this missile. So then I explained to them, this is a cruise missile, all those things, and what trajectory it can take. I talked to him. He was also very curious to know what. Then finally he said, this is a wonderful missile. And why do you want to sell it? Then I said, best product should be sold. That's why we have come. Are you planning to sell it to Middle East? Yes, that's why we have come. Will you sell it to Pakistan? Just like that he asked. Then I immediately said, BrahMos is a free delivery item for you. His face changed, all smiles stopped. Immediately he walked out. Yes, sir.
Truly a fabulous anecdote, sir. Truly a fabulous anecdote. I think it's resonated with everyone
I
here.
have written this in my book. My book, I have incident, I have written in the book. So there are two books you must read. One book is Success Mantra of BrahMos. It's available, a small book. Another book is 40 Years with Abdul Kalam, Untold Stories. There are also a lot of things are there about Abdul Kalam, which are not there in the public. There are many incidents which are narrated there. So if anyone wants to read, it's available. Book is available. So it will be nice. If you go through, you will know the pulse of the country. You will know. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. We will draw a conclusion to this discussion with this. Ladies and gentlemen, considering the pantheon of people sitting on stage there who have achieved so much and have done so much for the progress of this great country of ours, I don't think you should be sitting. They need a standing ovation.